What is happening, everybody? Thanks for stopping in tonight to Brian's Random Thoughts. I'm Brian. Oddly enough, I do want to say hi, everybody. And feel free to say hi in the chat, or you can do the same thing in comments down below if you're watching on the rebroadcast. Tonight, I'm going to do an In Case You Missed It, that's what those letters mean, with Kim Iverson. Now, for those of you who don't know who she is, just hang on, give me a minute and a half, and you'll get to see who I'm talking about here. She has been on The Hill for quite a while, a YouTube channel called The Hill news reporting agency, but she recently left and is back out on her own. And for good reason. Now, this video is probably not going to be addressing that, but just so you know, it's why I've actually not used her for a while for any of these videos, because she is on The Hill, and as a general rule, the comments from the other people that are with her are pretty stupid. And so rather than get aggravated, I just skip it. So now she's back on her own, and so we can just hear from her directly. Now, the title of this one is Pfizer Makes Bank on Bunk. And so we are going to jump right over here to this video and get started on it. And then it's first time for me seeing it as well. If you have a question or comment while we're watching it, feel free to throw it up in the chat. And then once the video is over, we'll kind of review this and go on from there. Here we go.
Well, as predicted, Joe Biden has a rebound case of COVID after taking Paxlovid, and this was completely expected. I even tweeted about this on July 21st when it was announced that Biden had COVID. Here's my tweet. Next headline, President Joe Biden, who was fully vaccinated and boosted twice, has tested positive for a second time after a round of Paxlovid. And that was meant to be sort of a joke tweet, although I knew that there was a very strong possibility this would happen. That was in response to Biden just testing positive to COVID on July 21st after being quadruple vaxxed, knowing that he was going to be starting his Paxlovid round. And sure enough, 9 days later, Biden, who's quadruple vaxxed, pumped full of Paxlovid, has a rebound case after reportedly beating COVID just a few days ago. He even went out. He left quarantine, took off his mask, shook hands with people, spoke to people, and it turns out now he's got COVID again. And I swear to you, I'm not an oracle or a psychic. Anyone who's been paying attention knew this was likely to happen. Now, here's the White House's statement, as described last week, acknowledging the potential for so-called rebound COVID positivity observed in a small percentage of patients treated with Paxlovid. The president has increased testing. After testing negative on Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and Friday morning, the president tested positive late Saturday morning. So Biden contracted COVID even though he's had 4 doses of the vaccine. He's decided that his 4 doses might not be enough protection, even though they told us and even forced us all to take it, saying, do it so we can end the pandemic, you anti-vaxxer you. He's then given 30 pills of Paxlovid over the course of 5 days, because it's 3 pills in the morning, 3 pills at night for 5 days straight, even though Paxlovid is experimental for people who've been vaccinated. It's only ever been tested on unvaccinated, high-risk patients. Biden takes it anyway, knowing that they have no data on this drug for people like him, and there have been quite a few rebound cases. And guess what happens? He gets a rebound case of COVID. So they're still trying to tell us that it's rare. Even though Fauci and Biden gets COVID after taking Paxlovid, they tell us, no, trust us, it's rare. How can they continue to say this with a straight face? I mean, so far, the 2 most recognizable advocates of these vaccines and drugs, Fauci and Biden, both have ended up with rebound cases. Yes. This reminds me of breakthrough cases of COVID. They were supposed to be rare, and now every single person has had COVID. I should say nearly every single person has COVID, no matter how many shots of the vaccine they've had. And no one knows why the drug keeps doing this. Pfizer doesn't have any answers. The CDC, FDA, Fauci, none of them can tell us why this drug is seemingly only suppressing the virus for a few days rather than eliminating it. Some outlets, like the New York Times, speculate the reason is people are taking it so early and the drug works so well that the patient doesn't develop antibodies, so they just catch it a second time, 5 days later. Right. How stupid do they think we are? The drug works too well. That's why it's causing these rebounds. You can't make these narratives up. Now, I can make a guess as to why it might be happening. The cocktail of drugs they use contains a drug also used for HIV patients. And as we know, HIV is a virus that isn't ever cured. It's just suppressed. So does that have something to do with it? I have no idea, but neither do they. We're all just guessing. but I wouldn't be surprised if that turns out to be the reason. I can't imagine the actual reason being, it just works so well. That's why this is happening. But get this, despite the fact that Pfizer's vaccines have failed to end the pandemic, they have not stopped the spread, nor have made COVID symptoms symptomless. Now people are taking dose after dose after dose, hoping the next one will finally do the trick. And despite the fact that Paxlovid is also not showing to live up to its promise, at least not with vaccinated people, Pfizer is running away with the bank. They've been feeding off of the fear of the American taxpayer and are seeing record profits while doing it. This was reported on Thursday. Pfizer's quarterly sales surged to record highs, driven by COVID vaccine and antiviral treatment Paxlovid. Pfizer's revenue grew by 47% to $27.7 billion compared to the second quarter last year. They saw a net income of $9.9 billion, a 78% increase over the same period during 2021. Pfizer maintained its 2022 sales guidance for its COVID-19 vaccine of $32 billion and is still expecting $22 billion for its oral antiviral Paxlovid. So they're making a ton of money, record profits, and everyone is still getting COVID and even getting rebound cases after taking their high-priced pills. And now, knowing that fewer people are going to take the vaccine because people realize it didn't stop the spread. They caught COVID anyway. Most still felt like crap and missed many days of work. So they don't see a reason to take a fourth, fifth, or sixth dose.
Yeah.
Pfizer, anticipating that demand will slow for the vaccine, has decided to raise their prices. Yep, they've raised it 27%. That's quite an increase. But honestly, I expected more than 27% because I would imagine more than 27% of currently vaccinated people will refrain from taking another dose. Now, I'm surprised they didn't double the price. Now, I don't know how they're going to convince all of the people who got the first 3 or 4 doses of the vaccine who still got COVID anyway to keep dosing up, unless they get government officials and companies to continue pushing for mandates. And that's possible. Politicians and media keep getting big pharma money, so I'm sure we'll still be hearing messages of more doses being needed and pressure for mandates. You just got to follow the money. Now that Pfizer has experienced these record profits, they aren't inclined to want to go backwards, and they'll do whatever it takes for survival. Remember, these are record profits on top of the fact that we, the taxpayers, actually funded Pfizer's development of the COVID vaccine. The government gave nearly $2 billion of our taxpayer money to Pfizer to help develop them. And here they are now, raising the price on us while continuing to take our money. The government just ordered 171 million doses of the Omicron-specific vaccine for this fall. And by the time the variant-specific vaccine rolls out, we'll likely be onto a new variant. So what are the chances this new vaccine works to stop the spread? If it's anything like these previous shots, the chances are dismal. So if the vaccine works to prevent severe illness and deaths, that's obviously a good thing. But that would mean only a particular subset of the population would need it, and that would cut into Pfizer's profits because we don't have 171 million people over 65 in this country. No. And now look, the vaccine does seem to give better odds for a period of time to people who are older. But the government and the media know, despite telling us that these vaccines are a miracle, that it is only for a period of time. That is why they're pushing for more doses and prescribing Paxlovid to anyone and everyone who gets COVID despite a lack of data. And they're saying it's better to be safe than sorry. Or is it better to just line the pockets of Pfizer with taxpayer money on pharmaceuticals that are performing well below expectations? Biden at last check-in seems to be doing well. Here he is.
Hey folks, Joe Biden here. Tested positive this morning. Going to be working from home for the next couple of days. And I'm feeling fine. Everything's good. But Commander and I got a lot of work to do.
So here's the thing. I know people are saying, look, the vaccines work, Paxlovid works, Biden isn't dead. But most people don't die from COVID. Even older people are more likely to survive than not. And we don't know why Biden is doing so well. Is it because he's quadruple vaxxed? We don't know. Is it because he took Paxlovid? We don't know. Is it because Omicron is less severe? We don't know. And the problem is, because we don't know, there's a good chance the government and businesses, and certainly Big Pharma, with all of their influence and desire for revenue, particularly Pfizer, will continue to push us all into more doses, more pills, without any data to show us what it is exactly that's working, if any of it. And of course, if you're in a high-risk category, you should do everything you can to survive. You might as well try everything you feel comfortable with. I'm not discouraging that. But wouldn't it be nice to know what it is exactly that's actually going to help you, if any of them at all?
All right, guys. So that's why I love watching Kim, because this is how all of her reporting is. No matter what agency she's with, she just brings it out like it is. And so one of the things that she said, that this was how I was raised, and I'm not going to keep you on here forever, but just something to think about: follow the money. Follow the money. When you're seeing things that don't match logic or reason, or you're hearing things that don't match logic and reason, then you have to start doing a backtrack. Why would someone say this? Why would this be their take? Why would they be coming at it from this direction when we either don't have information, or the information we have is contrary to what your statement is? It's always follow the money. And that is, as an old man, I'm 53 years old. That advice has done me well the majority of my life, because again, when it comes to corporations, they only have one responsibility. They only have one responsibility, and that is to make money for the shareholder. They do not have ethical concerns. They only have fiduciary concerns. So they don't care if their ad scheme, if their marketing campaign is completely fabricated. That means nothing to them. They made a TV show called Mad Men, which is literally the founding blocks, the founding stones of our modern advertising that we have going on right now. We have corporations that have been sued for billions and billions and billions of dollars, that have managed to wipe that out of everybody's mind, and it's the very people now that are going to tell us that we're going to need to do something else. Well, you just lost the largest lawsuit in history because you were falsifying information about a product you were selling. It just happened just a few years ago. Look it up. Those are the same people that are now going to tell us that these events that we see happening on a consistent basis, these rebounds, after they did exactly what the pharmaceutical company said to do. The patient followed the directions correctly, and the exact opposite of what was supposed to happen happened. And then to have them come back and say, well, it's because the pill works too well. That's like saying you drowned because your life jacket worked too well. That's again, follow the money. Follow the money. All right, guys. So as always, if you ever have any questions, comments, feel free to share those with us. If this is content that you enjoy, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will leave you with a little phrase from one of my favorite TV shows ever. The truth is out there. You just have to go find it. I know that sucks, but it is there. So, all right, guys. Thanks for stopping in. And I guess I'll see you the next time I see you. All right. Love you guys. And I'll probably see you Wednesday night about 7. Bye.